So we'll step back a little bit so people can see my hands. People seem to want to see my hands. So welcome. This is Joseph Lucier for our weekly Tongren online healing session. So we have people that are requesting through our website chat and all these different things. So our goal is to give everybody a Tongren treatment. Each week you build up healing momentum. It helps a lot. And then you can continue on. There are many of these classes throughout the world, and they are accessible through the TongrenStation.com website, as well as mine. So we'll do one last thing, make sure that the telephone is not going to interfere, and we will tap. So let's begin right away. Blood flow to the brain. And I think we're live. Are we live? Okay, live on Instagram as well. So our three-part process that we teach, we actually have a workshop coming up January 29 for teaching Tongren. Blood flow to the brain. If anybody doesn't want blood flow to the brain, you can let me know. I know I can use it. And we see Calm Human, Happy Mama, and a few more, and Cool One for less. And we're going to tap for Jay, Esther, Catherine. So let me know how you're doing week to week, if you're improving. Is there anything else we can do? Command points of the brain to initialize the central nervous system and the endocrine system. So in case you haven't noticed, we have a co-host here, Mr. Laser there, because we want to do kind of a multitasking where we're focusing energy on the Dantian. If you think of the Dantian as an energy battery, a storage house for energy. So in yoga, they call it chakras. In Tai Chi or Chinese medicine, they call it a Dantian. Same thing. So we'll begin with Esther, pain relief, brain injury, bladder, autoimmune, and then for her daughter-in-law, fertility. So blood flow to the brain. And Christos from Greece is with us. Great to see you too. So brain injury. So let's work on the brain command points and the brain stem command points, but most importantly, a three-part process for blood flow. Sky window, vertebral artery, and occipital artery. So if you haven't done it already, please sit and relax. And now that we have most people here, we'll do a simple breathing technique. Sit and relax, feet flat on the floor, palms face up, and breathe in through the nose. And we'll do a breathing exercise if you want to follow along. So it would be to breathe in, and I'll do the counting. Breathe in through the nose. We're going to breathe in, count 1, 2, 3, 4, and through the nose, we'll count for 6. 1, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. and hold your breath for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to balance out and focus on the parasympathetic nervous system. So continuing on for Esther, brain injury, C1, C2 as well. And then we're going to work on the immune system for everyone and autoimmune points, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And we'll work on the microbiome, which is also for the immune system. But for the daughter-in-law fertility, L3 would be the main area, but we want to work on a 2-part process. Blood flow, nerve flow. So that would be blood flow T7. And let's call that the hepatic portal area. L1, 2, and 3 for the fertility area. So I'm presuming everybody can see and hear me okay. And we have cool creation, Faris, Eric. So you can all see me and hear me okay, I presume. And we're doing great. Unless you live on the warm side of the earth, it's quite cold around here. My friend told me it would be around minus 25 in the Chicago area in the winter. That's a little bit crazy. And we see hearts going through. Oh, wow. Yeah, some people are from Canada. I got nothing compared to them. They must be cold. Boy. So for the bladder for Esther, S1 to 5. And then the bladder meridian down to bladder 54. And coming down, grounding liver 3 and kidney 1. And from the perspective of pain relief, GP13, brain injury, GP13, left side, right side, sky window area for the brain, and then the vagus nerve, gut-brain axis. That's a good way to approach working on the vagus nerve, because the vagus nerve and the gut communicate on a regular basis. GB12 and CV4. And that's also good for fertility, CV4. and then down the legs. Also good for pain relief and injury. Spleen 6, liver 3, and kidney 1, my 3-part grounding choice. Thank you for joining us, Esther. Okay, and next we work with less than JBWKWKONE, Jabberwocky, something like that. Looks good. And then a couple more. Let's go do it. Blood flow to the brain. Let's work systemically for Les and his ribs and his intercostal inflammation, what looks like around T11, T12. Blood flow to the brain. And command points to the brain stem. And when the ribs are healed, there's a method of breath work from Wim Hof. I highly recommend. This process is extremely alkalizing systemically, along with the relaxator. Those two-part processes, that two-part process is extremely alkalizing and effective. So let's go right for T1, the bones. T1 for the bones. T1 to T12 for all the ribs, and especially T11, T12 for the rib injury. T1 for the bones. Craniosacral fluid for the bones, GB789. T1 tailbone 4. So you guys doing okay? Let me hear from you. See what's going on. Make sure. Yep, so we'll work with less. And T11 cracked rib. I got that. So let's do all the major bone points and anti-inflammation points. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. The microbiome. T11, T12, L4, L5. And we've been joined by Swifty 1972. So let's do some more main bone points for less. T1 and GB39. Hello, Swifty 1972. Great to see all my friends. So we're on the out point, T11, T12 for less. And especially the part that curves around, as he mentioned. And grounding. Kidneys for the bones, Chinese medicine, L1, it's good to see you, Michelle. GB39 for the bones. So get the bone marrow going, and then the vagus nerve down the torso. CV4 to charge the battery. But again, work on the T11, T12 area from the front and the sternum. And grounding, again, GB39 for the bones, liver 3, and kidney 1. So hang in there less. Next, we work with Catherine McGlynn. Catherine McGlynn, from that place of our ancestors. Catherine McGlynn. Request is for the eyes and nighttime leg cramps. So magnesium oil, the Dr. Circus, SIRCUS website has a really good magnesium oil. Blood flow to the brain. And in addition to that, we're working on Jabberwocky. I'm guessing Jabberwocky Walk 1. I think you told me before what that means, and I forgot. I apologize. Peripheral neuropathy, heat in skin and arms. So clay baths would be a really good way to open up the pores and to increase the cooling capabilities of the skin, because it's probably toxic in the skin, so you can't release heat. So you need to open it up through heat as well as clay. That would be my recommendation. So chest, stomach, hands, and lower legs, and also for loss of skin's ability to perspire. So that could be hormonal, but a lot of it is just that the skin and the detox process is a little bit blocked up. And let's work on that. So for the eyes, let's work on complete eyes. Blood flow to the brain, brain command points. And for the peripheral neuropathy, we will initialize the central nervous system. And let's take a look to see if people are saying hello. And hello, Esther, guest 1675038. Feel like I'm in a futuristic movie. Gentle Mind. We had a lot of people sign out. Wonder why. Sign out and in. Oh, I get it. Okay, we're on track. So is everybody doing okay? If you are, say hello. And let's continue on. So visual cortex. GB19. Hi there, Mumashari. Vertical artery. Let's work on the ouch point for the eyes for Catherine McGlynn. Facial artery for the eyes. So Calamera to Christos. So when anything goes on in the skin, you think of the connection between the skin and the liver. Bitter herbs support liver and digestion. The healthier the liver is, the better the skin will be. Definitely clay baths will get your perspiration back. See 1, 2, 3 for the eyes for Catherine McGlynn. So peripheral neuropathy, let's work on blood flow to the brain and the spinal artery for the entire spinal cord. I guess you still can't see my hands so well. So I'm going to move myself back. That looks good. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Peripheral neuropathy, so the two areas that go to the periphery, brachial plexus of the shoulders, and the brachial plexus for the legs. And yes, so also remove heat for the skin and arms. And don't forget nighttime leg cramps for Catherine McGlynn. It's all about magnesium. You're probably doing plenty of magnesium. But then after you say it's all about magnesium, it's all about absorbing magnesium, because you need a balance and a synergy of minerals together to make sure that the magnesium absorbed. The right ratios of calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium all need to be in the right ratio. And if you drink a lot of dairy products, that is the improper ratio, and that will basically suck calcium out of your bones, make you acidic, and create inflammation. Skin T4. And for Catherine McGlynn, the lumbosacral plexus to bring bioelectricity to the legs and the cramps. If you can massage clay or magnesium oil into the legs, that will help a lot. So removing skin, there we go. Let's work on the liver. T9 right side. You might have some soreness on the right side T9 area of your back. So the skin's ability to perspire is a plumbing issue for sure, but we'll work on T4 for the skin. So the ouch point, the legs for Catherine. And grounding to liver 3, kidney 1, and we work on the chest, stomach, and hands by working on the dantian areas. The chest, CV17, CV4 for the stomach, the vagus nerve to the stomach, CV4, and lower legs. So that would be stomach 36, gallbladder 39, spleen 6 for both legs. And legs cramps. A lot of times that's in the calf muscles for Catherine. Bladder 54, then down in the calves. Liver 3, kidney 1. And you're welcome, John. And let's continue on. Does anybody have any questions? Or is anybody interested, I should say, for the upcoming Tongren workshop? It looks like we have 6 people so far. So we'll hopefully have 10 to 15 people as usual. And we should be in great shape. So any requests from Instagram? But I think you've put them into the website. And if you have any questions or say hellos or anything, stay warm, everyone. So next is Sister's auditory, visual hallucinations, fibroids, blood sugar levels. So one thing, Tiffany Williams, yep, bioelectricity for the whole body will do a whole body tune-up. So one thing I highly recommend to everyone, 95% of the world has had some form of Epstein-Barr virus. So it's always good to rule that out, get that tested. Blood flow to the brain. visual hallucination. So let's work on the limbic system, GB789, the core part of our consciousness. And we work on the Broca and Wernicke areas of the brain. And I'm not sure where the fibroids are, but we'll work on inflammation. Vertebral artery to spinal artery, visual and audio. So brain, visual cortex, auditory cortices, Broca and Wernicke areas, and GB789 for the limbic system. T123478 for fibroids, and also for human abdominal hernia, ED, and weight balance. So T123478 for fibroids, inflammations, T123478. So ED is insulin resistance. So the best way is to have 10% of your diet from fat, and lots of fiber, lots of hydration, and lots of exercise, which will also help with the weight balance. T123478 also for that. T123478. And we have a new member, Live Play CDA, joined. Nice to see you. So this is our Tongren weekly sessions, because it's good to build healing momentum for everyone. So in addition to ED, we work on T8 pancreas, pancreatic enzymes, weight balance, growth hormone, immune system, and metabolism. T123478. And the microbiome. For weight balance, you need to add lots of nutrients, and then your weight will balance out correctly. Nutrients in, toxins out. Oxygen in, inflammation out. That's the formula for this type of health. So yes, I have your request. If it didn't work out on the website, I apologize. Had to reboot. Yep, you're in there. Breast cancer, recurrent lymph, and immune. You made it. Yep, you're under there as gentle mind. Absolutely. And let's continue on with Calm Human, CV4, which is good for the ED and the abdominal hernia. So let's work on the whole abdominal area, inguinal area, and get that going. Hello, Kimbies and group. Liver 3 and kidney 1 grounding. Vertebral artery, spinal artery, to also support ED, T8, esophagus, pancreas, L3, and grounding to the earth. And then for weight, the dual points, the gut-brain axis, GB12, CV4. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. Maybe I should have some music playing. What do you guys think? Could be distracting. Maybe a little bit of Erhu Chinese violin kind of music might make it a little bit more interesting. I'll look into that. Let me know from what you guys say. So next we're going to do a complete bioelectricity for the entire body. Yeah, music. We got 1 vote for music. Oh, we're getting some more votes for music. All right. So working with Happy Mama. Welcome. Blood flow to the brain. So sending chi for perfect blood and lymph. The only thing I have queued up right now is Tori Amos. I don't know if you guys like Tori Amos, but maybe even some classical music. I'll work on that. I got a lot of ideas. The music I used to play at my clinic. That's it. So let's focus on chi for perfect blood. Blood flow to the brain, brain stem. And we'll also be working, we don't want to skip, breast cancer recurrence. We'll do that also. Blood flow to the brain. So let's work on the blood. T1 for the blood, T1 for the blood, T3 for the lymph. We'll do a complete tune-up. Yep, why not today? The only music I have queued up is Tori Amos, a brilliant poet and musician. Actually plays 2 pianos, side by side, one hand on the left piano, one hand on the right piano. It's pretty incredible. A really good heart-centered poetry. So we'll try some music. Yep, we'll work on some music. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Let's work more on the blood. So T1 for the blood and bones. T7, the spleen for the blood. GB39 for the blood, for the bones, which is the bone marrow, which produces the blood. So T1 for the bones, T2 for the bronchial areas of the thymus, T3 for the breasts, breast cancer recurrence, T4. And additionally, for the perfect blood, the nourishment of the bones, 2 parts, cranial sacral fluid, GB789, tailbone 1, 2, 3, 4, and the hepatic portal, T7, to support the bone marrow as well. The nourishment of the bones. And T4 for the breast, and especially the lymph, T3, and the axillary lymph for the breast to avoid metastases. And T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for the immune system boost. You're welcome. Let's continue on with that. Music, please. I am mind. I am Mindy Harley. Hope I said that right. I apologize if I didn't. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And Kimby's, you are next. And we'll continue to repeat for the breast area as well. But let's do that full body bioelectricity. So what does that mean? We work on the central nervous system. So we work on the command points of the brain to initialize the central nervous system. And to best nourish the bioelectricity is blood flow, nerve flow, vertebral artery to the spinal artery, our entire spinal cord. And especially T6. That is indirectly T3 for the lungs, T6 for the diaphragm. More oxygen, more electricity, more charge for the entire body bioelectricity. So let's do the entire spine. So, in addition to that, so down to liver 3 and kidney 1, and additionally for the charging of the nerves, the 3 dantian areas, upper, middle, and lower, to charge the battery for all the nerves and oxygen. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. So for Kimby's, we tap for detox, adrenal health, so for Kimby's, and then Ferris for eye problems, and balance for walking. And let's work on those. Blood flow to the brain. So detox, the best way to detox is with detoxification techniques such as detoxing herbs, sea vegetables, and the best thing is binding with clay for detoxing. Vertebral artery, spinal artery. So for the eyes, the ouch point for the eyes, Faris's mom. TV17 for the pressure to the eyes. And C3 for the bioelectricity to the eyes. So let's take a moment with that. For detoxing, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Let me look at something real quick. Something for broken bones. Osmunda regalis. Osmunda regalis for knitting bones, and comfrey poultices is another option for your broken foot. Vertebral artery, spinal artery. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for detoxing. T1 for the bones. T7 for the blood flow and the nerve flow, brachial plexus to the foot again. Vagus nerve to the gut for detoxing. CV4. So for the eyes, for Ferris's mom, the ouch point, C3. And then for balance, stability, GB17, BL9. vertebral artery to the spinal artery. The left carotid artery, the aneurysm for cool creation. Post-COVID. So post-COVID, definitely things like fermented turmeric, pine needle tea, lots of vitamin C, 1 to 2 grams a day of liposomal vitamin C. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, also for the eyesight, inflammation, unknown origin. And grounding down to liver 3 and kidney 1. And let's not miss anything for the eyes. That's the liver also for Ferris. The liver is in Chinese medicine for the eyes. And grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. So for Pam Sherman, blood flow to the brain. Let's work again for Les's 11th rib, fractured. And all the bones, so T1. So arthritis, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, any itis? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So arthritis of the neck, C1 to C7. And arthritis for the hips, blood flow, T7. Nerve flow, lumbosacral plexus. So for Les, T11. And blood flow and Chi to the feet, liver 3 and kidney 1. Again for Les, GB39 for special point for the bones also. CV17 for arthritis, any itis as well, bringing oxygen and reducing inflammation. And then grounding to liver 3 and kidney 1. And then passion itself, brittle bones, muscles, inflammation, and cartilage. It looks like comfrey is a good help for cartilage to grow. Yin yoga, longer holding poses, is really good for the cartilage and different things like that. So let's tap for heat, cold, sore throat, post-nasal drip, and a little coughing and headachy. Doesn't sound like COVID to me. So let's work on that. And the cartilage. And let's go. Blood flow to the brain. Head cold. So a good way to release post-nasal drip is something we don't use too much. CV17, CV19, 20, 22, and then 24. for post-nasal drip. So watch out, your sinuses are going to get drained. Lots of ginger tea, counterattack herbal remedies. Probably 4 grams of liposomal vitamin C daily until it's gone. Vertebral artery to the spinal artery. C1 and C2 for the head. C3, 4, 5 for the throat. Eyes, ears, nose, and throat, including the nasal area and the coughing. So headaches are always GV17, BL9. GB20, I knew I could figure it out. Anti-inflammation for the head cold, sore throat. Two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. That's also for the brittle bones, muscle inflammation, for passion itself. So let's work on that. And the right hip. Let's not miss anything. Blood flow to the brain. T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Let's focus on T1 for the bones. CV 7, 8, 9 for the sphenoid bone, for the craniosacral fluid to nourish the bones. And T7 to nourish the bone marrow, the hepatic portal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Anti-inflammation and cartilage, growth hormone, GV20. But let's work right on the hips, the lumbosacral plexus. And work on the ouch point on the right hip for passion itself. So a vote for possibly music or no music. So I think it has to be instrumental. And I think I have the right stuff for it. Chinese violin music, absolutely. Blood flow to the brain. Kimby's adrenal health, L1, L2. So let's do blood flow to the brain, anti-inflammation. So for broken bones, Osmunda regalis, or royal fern. Osmunda regalis. I was doing some research. Osmunda regalis. Let me type it in here. For comfrey poultices and all of that. So we're right on track. Blood flow to the brain. Actually, the easy way to do it is I would just open a tab with YouTube and play some cool music at a very specific frequency, because different frequencies are like medicine. I'm not sure what that'll do to my bandwidth, but considering I right now have about 200 tabs open on my computer, might be a little bit tough. So for the bones, make sure you eliminate acidity. There's a good herb called osteo herb. Winston. It might be at the top, but there it is again. And we're going to work on the adrenals. T7 blood flow, L1, L2 nerve flow. Feeling the chi, which is great. And Ferris, viral infection. Absolutely, we will keep you going. Viral infection, T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. So high dose vitamin C, clay baths if you can, ginger tea, oregano oil. If it's in the sinuses for anyone, sinuses with lavender or oregano, steaming into the sinuses to cleanse the sinus and the upper part of the lungs and the lungs as well. So T1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 for viral infection. So the Nigelia sativa, I'm not familiar with that. What is that good for? I might know that under a different name, but that sounds really good. It's better, but not all gone. A clay foot poultice or poultice anywhere. You take a 2-to-1 ratio. But the way I do it, I put in like a bunch of clay into a container. The question is, what's a good way to do a poultice? Is to put a bunch of clay, the powder in there, and mix in the water slowly until it's really thick. Usually it's 2 parts clay, 1 part water. Make it really thick into a mud, and then you add it as a paste onto an area, then you cover it with a bandage, and then you leave it overnight. People usually do them on the feet because if you do it on the feet, even through the bottom of the feet, it will actually detox the entire body. So that's one way to do it. So great. Nigelia sativa might have another name. But, yep, go for it. So lavender, oregano, steaming, and heat, and ginger. So let's go grounding for everyone. And charge the battery for everyone. CV4, and then CV17, where the laser is. If you look at the laser, think of heat and warmth, and that's also for the oxygen in the lungs and antiviral. Yes, black seed oil. Ah, yes, black seed oil. There's a great gummy that I've been using. It has oregano and black seed oil. I just take it once in a while during this pandemic. But black seed oil is brilliant. Nigeria sativa. Okay, that makes sense. It's a team effort here. Thank you, everyone. Yep, black seed oil is brilliant. I take a little bit of it almost every day as for the season, the gummy that I get, which is actually a pretty healthy one. It's got oregano and black seed oil, and it's a good idea for everyone, especially during this pandemic. If you haven't noticed, we're in the middle of a pandemic. So here's a clearing tone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm honored to be here with all of you on our Thursday nights. And keep in touch if you have any further questions. Again, this is Joseph Lucier, our Thursday Tongren healing session for a Tongren boost. We have at least 3 continents included tonight. So thank you very much for your time. And I look forward to seeing you again, hopefully in our workshops, or if you have any questions about any conditions, just email me or text me and we'll be great. We'll be all set. Thank you very much for Kimby's and everyone, Paris. Good to see everyone. You guys are awesome.